Chapter 10 The Long Party. I hope we're not too early. Grace Winsor Wexler always arrived at parties fashionably late, but not tonight. She didn't want to miss a thing or a clue or wait around in her apartment with a murderer on the loose. I don't think you've met my husband, Dr. Wexler. Call me Jake. Hello, Jake, Judge Ford said. A firm handshake, laugh lines round his eyes. He needed a sense of humor with that social climbing wife. What a lovely living room, so practically furnished, Grace commented. Our apartments are identical in layout, but mine looks so different. You must come see what I've done with it. I'm a decorator, you know. 3 bedrooms do seem rather spacious for a single woman. What does she mean, 3 bedrooms? This is a 1-bedroom apartment. Would you care for an appetizer, Mrs. Wexler? I'm curious to know exactly how you are related to the Westing family. The judge had hoped to take the heiress by surprise, but Grace gained time by coughing. Goodness, that ginger is spicy. It's the cooking style, you know. How am I related? Let me see. Uncle Sam was my father's oldest brother, or was he the youngest brother of my father's father? Excuse me, I have to greet my other guests. The judge left the prattling pretender. Father's brother or father's father's brother. If the relationship was on the paternal side, her maiden name would be Westing. The party went on and on. No one dared to be the first to leave. Safety in numbers, especially with the judge there. So the guest ate and jabbered, and they watched the other guest eat and jabber too. No one laughed. I guess murder isn't very funny, Jake Wexler said. Neither is money, Mr. Hu replied glumly. Deciding that his wife had found the perfect partner, the podiatrist moved on to the 2 women standing in silence at the front window. Cheer up, Angie Pye. You'll see your Denton soon enough. His daughter twisted out of his embrace. Are you all right, Angela? I'm fine. She was not fine. Why did they ask about Denton all the time, as though she was nobody without him? Oh, it wasn't just that. It wasn't even the humiliation of her mother chiding her about the twin costume in front of everybody and sending her back to their apartment to change clothes. It was more than that. It was everything. Jake turned to Madam Hu. Hi there, partner. She doesn't speak English, Dad, Angela said flatly. And she never will, Angela, if no one talks to her. Snow, said Madam Hu. Jake followed her pointing finger. That's right, snow. Lots and lots of snow. There's snow, trees, road, Lake Michigan. China, said Madam Hu. China? Sure, why not? Jake replied. China. Angela left the chatting couple. Why couldn't she have made some sort of friendly gesture? Because she might do the wrong thing and annoy her mother. Angela, the obedient daughter, did only what her mother told her to do. Hello, Angela. One of these tidbits might cheer you up. Judge Ford held the tray before her. I hear you'll be getting married soon. Some people have all the luck, Sidel Pulaski said, appearing from nowhere to lean over the tray, to spare Cuba pork. Of course, not all of us women have opted for marriage, right, Judge Ford? Some of us prefer the professional life, though I must say, if a handsome young doctor like Denton Deer proposed to me, I might just change my mind. Too bad he doesn't happen to be twins. Excuse me, the judge moved away. I'm not having any luck at all, Angela, Sidel whined. If only your mother hadn't made you change clothes, someone surely would have mentioned twin. It's much harder to judge reactions when I have to bring up the subject myself. You shouldn't let your mother boss you around like that. You're a grown woman, about to be married. Excuse me. Angela moved away. Yes, thank you. I would like a refill, Sidel said to nobody and hobbled to the bar. Something good, please. Doctor's orders. Make it a double. Twins. Twins? What's she talking about, Theo wondered, staring at the black and white checkered costume. 2 ginger ales for the chessboard, coming right up. Hidden among her guests, the judge studied the 2 people standing off in the corner, the only pair in Sunset Towers who were not Westing heirs. George Theodorakis placed his hand on the shoulder of his son, a large bronze, hard-working hand, like Theo's. Theo resembled him in many ways: tall, wide shoulders, slim-waisted, the same thick, straight black hair, but age had chiseled the father's face into sharper planes. His troubled eyes stared across the room at Angela. Catherine Theodorakis, a slight, careworn woman, gazed down on her younger son with tired, dark-circled eyes. From his wheelchair, Chris watched Legs. Other than the funny lady with the shorthand notes, the only limpers were his brother Theo, Turtle had kicked him again, and Mrs. Wexler, who stood on one leg, rubbing her stockinged foot against her calf. A high-heeled shoe stood alone in the carpet beneath her. Judge Ford didn't limp. Besides, she couldn't be a murderer in spite of the clues. Nobody here looks like a murderer. They're all nice people. Even this fat Chinese man who grumbles all the time. George Theodorakis greeted Mr. Hu with, "How's business?" Hu spun around and stomped off from his fellow restaurant owner in a huff of anger. James Hu, inventor. That's who the judge wanted to talk to, but there was a problem at the bar. A long line had formed and it wasn't moving. There are 16 white pieces and 16 black pieces in chess, Theo was explaining to Sidel Pulaski. Do you play chess, Judge Ford? A bit, but I haven't played in years. The judge led the secretary away from the crowd. Theo must think the Westing game has something to do with chess. He may be right. It was certainly as complicated as a chess game. But I did study, Doug was arguing. The judge interrupted. I haven't had a chance to thank you for the delicious food, Mr. Hu. How long have you been in the restaurant business? Running up and down the stairs is not studying, Hu said. Sidel Pulaski butted in. Father and son? You look more like twins. You're equal partners with a Theodorakis kid, Hu continued. Why didn't you insist on holding the meeting in our restaurant instead of the greasy coffee shop? Because some people don't like chow mein for breakfast, Sidel Pulaski replied. There you are, dear. Grace patted a stray wisp of Angela's hair into place. We must do something about your hairstyle. I'll make an appointment for you with my hairdresser once the snow is cleared. Long hair is too youthful for a woman about to be married. I can't understand what got into you, Angela. Coming to this party in that old checkered dress and those awful accessories. Just because your partner dresses like a freak. She's not a freak, Mother. I was just speaking to Mr. Hu about catering the wedding shower on Saturday. I arranged for little Madame Hu to serve in one of those slinky Chinese gowns. Wait, where are you going? Angela. Angela rushed into Judge Ford's kitchen. She had to get away. She had to be alone, by herself, or she'd burst out crying. She was not alone. Crow was there. The two women stared at each other in surprise, then turned away. Poor baby. Crow wanted to reach out to the pretty child. She wanted to take her into the arms and say, poor, poor baby, go ahead and cry. But she couldn't. All she could say was here. Angela took the dish towel from the cleaning woman and bunched it against her face to muffle the retching sobs. The guests jabbered on and on about the weather, about food, about football, about chess, about twins. Turtle was slumped on the couch, scornful of dumb, grown-up parties. You'd think one of them would know something about the stock market. She missed Sandy. Sandy was the only one in this dumb building she could talk to. Remember that quotation? May God thy gold refine, Flora von Bosch asked. Let's take a poll. I'll bet 10 cents it's from the Bible. Shakespeare, Turtle argued, and make it $10. Oh my. Well, all right, $10. Together they made the rounds. 4 votes for the Bible, 3 for Shakespeare, and 1 abstention. Madame Hu didn't understand the question. Sidel Pulaski voted for the Bobbsey twins. And how do you know those words were in the will? She asked suspiciously. Too suspiciously. So that's what lost important business papers meant. Somebody stole the shorthand notes. Turtle smiled at the delicious nastiness of it all. I remember, that's all. If you remember so well, tell me what comes before that, Sidel challenged. I don't know, what? The secretary had an audience now. I don't mind telling you, but not if you ask like that. Theo said, please, not Turtle. Siddell turned toward him with what should have been a gracious manner, but she grimaced when the top of the crutch poked her in the chest. "The exact quotation," she announced loudly, hoping she was right, "is 'Spend it wisely, and may God thy gold refine.'" Right or wrong, her guess was received with groans of disappointment. The heirs had expected more. A hint, a clue, something. It was time to go home.